Hello my fellow chairs, welcome back to E4 Mission Tree Only, this series where we look at a nation's mission tree within its entirety without expanding outside of that mission tree. Today we have a nation as very special and near and dear to my heart as I used to work with many of its jade sculptures, and that is the Qing. We're going to be starting out as Jianzhou, forming Manchuria, and eventually forming the Qing. Now before we get into today's video, let's talk about today's sponsor. Polybuzz is an AI app that allows you to create your own unique character chatbot and talk with over 20 million different characters from any wide range of personalities, and even talking to celebrities, anime characters, and even video game characters as well. With all of this being free, it is easy to see why Polybuzz has over 10 million downloads worldwide. Personally, I created my own unique character, Qianlong of the Qing dynasty, and we're going to go ahead and ask him how he's doing. Oh, at least he's doing pretty well today. You know, he's in a good mood. Normally he's not in a good mood. Let's see if he can actually help us out with maybe advancing our position within government. What type of qualifications? Yeah, I'm a YouTuber, and my man does not want to promote us. You could download the Polybuzz app through both the Google Play and Apple stores, and if you use my code Chairman7, you'll unlock additional premium features. Now with all that being said, let's get right into the video. So here we are as Jianzhou, and I feel like it is worth it to mention that all three of the nations that we're going to be playing as today all have very different ideas. The nation of Jianzhou over here actually starts out with Jurchen ideas. So all these tribes not unified just yet. So we get Jurchen ideas, morale of armies, national manpower, land attrition for enemies, national unrest, and horde unity, land leader shock, manpower recovery speed, chance of a new era, improved relations, and an increase in our possible Manchu banners. Now you may be asking yourself, what the hell are these Manchu banners? Well, if we look over here at our culture map mode, pretty much anything that is in Jurchen or even Manchu culture allows us to hire these very unique units specific to these guys. You could raise these guys up for 0.10 corruption per unit. I'll go ahead and spawn one of these guys in right now. For that very specific unit, they cost a little bit less to maintain. They get +5 discipline just for the banner units. They do take a little bit longer to reinforce, and they also use a little bit less manpower. So overall, you should really be stacking your entire army with these guys, and that's exactly what I'm going to do at the start here. Now, the whole reason why we are all here, of course, is the mission tree. Now, when it comes to the mission trees for Jianzhou to Manchu to Qing, they all share the same early on missions here. Now, in terms of rivals, we're going to go ahead and rival Korea. They don't like us, I don't like them. Orachoni, same thing, and Haishi. Now, in my experience playing over here, which is quite a bit, typically Haishi and Orachoni will almost always ally each other. I have seen a couple of times in which Orachoni and Haishi actually don't ally each other, and instead Orachoni allies Shibei. Now, also too, it is very important and very fair to mention this nation, Nanai, for whatever reason, them and Oirat almost always seem to ally each other. But we're going to be decking on Haishi right away. They're typically the easiest war out of all these guys. Always invade Haishi right away. It will be very, very easy. And what did I tell you guys? Orachoni and Haishi, guess what? They allied each other. And Orachoni is also allied to Shibei. We're going to co-belligerate Shibei. We're going to go ahead, full annex all three of these guys. I'm going to consider this actually a pretty make or break war at the very beginning here, just simply because we're going to be at war with three different tribes by ourselves, and we will go ahead and attack them for Yihi over here as well. I'm going to send my free company over here to their capital. My main army is going to go here to Haicheng, basically hunt these guys down if we can get them. Oh yeah, we are also a tributary state under Ming as well. Get a stack, close to a stack wipe. I thought it would be, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and focus on Haishi and Shibei right away, and that is quite simply, there we go, there's our stack wipe. And that's quite simply because Orachoni will not be able to get to us because we have a fort up here in the mountains of Hun Kun, and that's just going to simply prevent them from even getting over here. So pretty much we have free reign on these two guys. And here we go, stack wiping Shibei's entire army. I'm just going to go ahead, carpet siege these guys down. I'm going to go ahead, have my free company just finish off Shibei, and we're just going to focus entirely on Orachoni, who I did beat in a battle on here on Hunkun. And that's why Shibei's army was low morale. Let's go ahead and get these guys, get them. And yep, there we go. Even though that was mountains, and our cavalry is actually a lot better in the steppes or flatland terrains. We should be able to stack right there. We go. All right, carpet siege these guys down, and that was our make or break war. That is done. And our initial starting guy just died in our heir. I was 14 years old, so about to take the throne, but yeah, it's not happening. But you know what? Same type of administrative skill, but way better in the diplomacy and mill department. I'll take a 366. I mean, even my heir is really good at 454. Dog, like, you know, can't get much better than that, to be honest with you. And there we go. So I siege down Orachoni entirely. All these guys completely siege down. Orachoni, I'm going to separate peace, and we will be able to full annex them. Now for Haishi here, I'm gonna have to do this through. Oh my god, that's gonna bother me, dude. No, come on, man. There's seriously no way I could just do. I'm gonna have to leave Shibei as a one province minor. I'm gonna do this though, so Nanai is kind of more encouraged to attack them. But there we go. Won our first two wars. Already completed a mission here. Permanent claim on the Manchu region. So there you go. We do have to eventually fight Mongolia. And of course we have to invade the remainder of the Manchurian Jurchen people. And in our capital, we got these two cavalry units. Now, why are these two cavalry units, very important? Why do we even get them to begin with? They are steppe riders. Our current cavalry is Eastern Swarm Cavalry, which is the one that you get from Miltech 1, 2, whatever. But the steppe riders are the next tech up, which we get at Miltech 10. So our cavalry is about to hit like a freaking truck. This is more up to personal preference. All this is Jurchen. It is all your culture province, so you're not really going to get penalized for these provinces as much. I am going to go ahead and raise these down because the monarch points, they're so good. It's so much more important to do this. And if we now, within 3 years of the game, we are the very first nation in the whole world to go ahead and get Miltech 4. So yeah, we kind of sort of have a huge advantage all of a sudden thanks to burning down a bunch of provinces. And one other thing that's very important to mention as well, sorry, I know, a lot of information right away. The reason why Jianzhou and Haishi are so important is they actually start out with feudalism. All the other nomadic tribes over here do not start out with feudalism. Even Oirat and Mongolia do not have feudalism, so just being Jianzhou or even Haishi. If you don't want to be Jianzhou, you don't want to deal with saying their name because I know it's a mouthful, Haishi is a good alternative. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start pursuing my claims over here on Nifk. I'm just going to do tribal conquest. It just makes things a little bit cheaper in terms of war score, all that stuff. And obviously all I have to do is just win battles to get war score, which is a lot faster than just sieges. And the exact thing I wanted to happen just did, which is Nanai invading Shibei. As soon as they win that war, we're going to go ahead and invade Nanai, especially before they ally Oirat, because looking at their relations, they are very close to allying Oirat. And these nincompoops just made Shibei their freaking tributary state, so whatever, we'll just go ahead, just invade them, which does call a Korchin, which normally in any other game I would go ahead full annex Korchin, but we don't have a single claim on these guys, so I can't even touch them. I can't do anything to them at all. But within that time frame, beat up Korchin, force them to give me war reps, full annex Nanai, did a quick war against Ceylon. Didn't really have much to talk about when it came to that war. And yeah, we're pretty much ready to form Manchu. All I have to do is actually just core up one more province, and I could go ahead, form Manchu. And it's very important to note, you actually don't have to core up this entire region. Just core up 20 provinces. All of a sudden, you have cores on literally all of these provinces. So don't worry about spending your admin points on coring up every province. Just do it to 20 provinces and you're good. So I recently just discovered Ainu, and again, we actually have a claim on them right here. I'm going to go ahead and just simply threaten war on these guys. They'll go ahead and give it to us. And there we go. Pretty much the entire Manchuria region is ours. We just simply have to annex Xibei and take the one province from Mongolia. What I could go ahead and do as well is pick up Miltech 5, be the very first nation over here to pick that up, which is great because we're competing with Korea in terms of tech. Also, Ming, for whatever reason, we've been paying tribute to these guys. They decided, you know what, it's time that we are no longer their tributary, and honestly, they really messed up. So here's the interesting thing about the Manchurian Jianzhou missions. We actually don't get a claim on China, like literally at all. So I mean, like, we could go ahead and seize the mandate from these guys right away, actually. So I mean, but we're not gonna take the mandate from them. But we will go ahead and invade them and actually conquer some of northern China right away. First thing I will do, however, though, is we are going to build up more cavalry. I need 3 more units of cavalry. We could complete this mission here. Maybe we'll invade China, then invade Korea, reset the truce with Ming, and then we should be able to get Nurhaci. So as I mentioned, core up 20 provinces. You could go ahead and form the Manchu, which Manchu becomes our new primary culture. We get new traditions and ambitions. All of these provinces over here are now cores. Didn't have to spend any admin after those 20 provinces to go ahead and core up everything. As I mentioned earlier too, they don't get any new missions. So you get stuck with the generic just Jurchen missions. But I mean, they're very, very good. So no matter what, they're very, very good. And now we could go ahead and form the Qing. We just simply have to own Beijing, Ningyuan, and then Shenyang and Shilingol over here, and we just have to be the Emperor of China. And boom, we can form Qing. All of a sudden, we get access to a bunch more missions. Jurchen ideas are very different from Manchurian ideas. The Manchurian ideas give you land maintenance modifier, a guaranteed +1 land leader shock, very important when invading China, 15% morale of armies when you complete all their ideas, national manpower modifier plus 15%, core creation cost, more banners, stab cost and institution spread, yearly horde legitimacy, cavalry combat ability, military tech cost -10, and AE expansion impact. Also, I forgot to mention, and also in part is because I kind of forgot about this, when you actually form Manchu, Korea no longer is a tributary state under Ming. So yeah, we kind of have free reign to go ahead and invade Korea now. So let's go. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're just going to take out Korea with their God King ruler. We're going to show them why Manchu is going to be the new big boy in charge over here. I can finally complete the mission, reorganize the tribes. I just simply have had to grow by 60 dev. 12,000 cavalry needs to be in my army. Unrest needs to be lower than 2. We could complete this, get raising power plus 10% for the next 20 years, manpower recovery speed, and now I could do this really broken mission. Have an army equal to or larger than 25,000 troops, be Manchu, grow by at least 150 development, or have 50 power projection. We have 50 power projection. Own 20 provinces in Manchuria. We get the rise of Nurhaci. Now, my boy Nurhaci loved this man in terms of EU4 stuff. He had very high ambitions of invading China, so we could get this man as our ruler, legendary conqueror. We can either get him as an amazing general, 3653. Hey, nothing bad with that. That's also a good option. Obviously, the top option, in my opinion, is the best. Or this bottom option, which you should never choose, which is just simply getting him as a level 3 discipline advisor. We're going for that top option. He's a 266. No matter what, he's a legendary conqueror, meaning years of separatism -5, along with plus 10% shock damage to all armies that we're fighting. I love that Ming just now warned me, even though we're now fighting their neighbor of Korea. I think it's kind of a little bit late on that warning, buddy. And Korea just made a huge mistake going on my mountain fort over here. We're about to stack wipe. No, but that was a good battle. That was a good battle. We're just going to keep pushing. Pretty much in this war over here, we're just going for the provinces that I need for this mission. Overrun Gangye. So just the northern part of Korea, that gives us permanent claims on the rest of Korea. And also Ming is going straight up for Cochin. I guess they forced them no longer to be a tributary state either. Random. But yeah, that was their decision to do that. So they're no longer a tributary state and probably going to get full annexed, I'd imagine. I wish I could invade Cochin. I really do. Because, I mean, it's just nice to it's just more provinces to just burn down pretty much. But I don't have any claims on them. I actually don't get any claims on that area or even the Mongol region until I actually form Qing. And it's like a later on mission too. So Cochin's about to exist for like a while now, and it's just going to bother me. Especially because we have to get the Shilling goal over here. So we're literally going to wrap around these guys. And sure enough, Ming just full annex Cochin. Alright, Ming. I see how we're going to do this. And here we go. So our truce with Ming is over. We could go ahead and invade them. I'm going to wait a month. There we go. Take Mandate of Heaven CB. You always want to use that when invading Ming. I've made the mistake, especially in Parabellum against Playmaker, where I use Tribal Conquest, which is okay at first, but to take the most amount of provinces, dude, take Mandate of Heaven. Even if you don't take the Mandate, you still are able to take way more provinces, so that's what we're going to do. And yeah, we're outnumbered. Do I care? No, not really. You want to know why? Because we're about to stack wipe all three of these armies. Watch this. Actually, maybe not. But since they all bunched up by me, we're going to get a good win right away. Alright, finally took that fort. We're going to march onto their army. This is grasslands, and we're just going to absolutely demolish them. Now we'll go straight to Beijing. Pretty much once we get Beijing, we're just going to get taken war score from that point on. I could also enact my second government reform. We're going to go with martial society. More manpower, always a good thing. So my war with Ming, I'm just going to keep it simple, sweet. So all these provinces over here in the Shenyang region, those are all cores, actually. So all these, they're going to cost me like nothing. Now I am going to go ahead and take the Beijing area over here, along with over 2,500 ducats. That's literally going to jumpstart our entire economy. That means all of a sudden we're going to be absolutely filthy rich. We're going to start being able to build buildings, and you guys know what's coming. We're about to invade Mongolia right now. So I just completed another mission, which is Mount Pike 2 over here. Own the province of Jianzhou. Pretty obvious we started as them. Have a temple here or a cathedral. We get horde unity for the next 20 years, lose corruption, and we also get a great temple in Jianzhou, as opposed to just a temple. And of course it refreshes the modifiers, which is cavalry to infantry ratio and tribes loyalty equilibrium. Pretty significant battle over here in their capital Ilhari. We're 2 Meltecs ahead. I mean, oh my god. Alright, so with Oirat and Mongolia, we can pretty much take most of the provinces that I do want or need, which is pretty much just Shilling goal, and I'm going to be taking like all the Mongol like provinces themselves for 99 war score, so that ain't bad. Ain't bad at all. All I need to do is just make Beijing into a state area, and yeah, just simply become Emperor of China, and we can just go ham on Ming, just taking over all of China within a matter of like 20 years. Finally, I can complete the mission, issue the 7 grievances. In order to complete this, either be the Emperor of China, they have to either be insulted by me, scornfully insulted, have an army smaller than me, have less prestige than me, which is the case, and they also have a less than 50 mandate. I have over 300 development. I'm at 350. My manpower level is at least 75%. 7 grievances happens. We get declaration of the 7 grievances until the death of my ruler. So I could also complete the mission bypass the Great Wall, just simply because I own this whole area over here. We get 13,000 manpower if we were at war with China currently and lose 2 war exhaustion. Otherwise, we gain a stability, gain 1 base manpower in Liaoning area, and refreshes dominance of the horse lords for the next 10 years. And because I own all of the Manchuria region, completed the missions, issue the 7 grievances, and bypass the Great Wall, we can now become the later Jin. We get an event called the Nurhachi Reforms happen, so I'll go ahead and show you guys that. We get yearly corruption, and reform progress growth. Alright, let's go ahead and invade Korea again. Tribal conquest. Could be even just slightly easier than the last time. I don't think we'll be able to full annex Korea, because I mean Korea is pretty freaking developed, but we will be able to take some of the really good provinces like their capital. Yeah, man, when you burn down a 30 development province, oh man, you get so many monarch points. We're at 89%. We should be able to get like a 90% peace deal. Really should like maximize the amount of provinces I could take from these guys. If I just occupy a couple more provinces, I should be able to get like a 90. Because otherwise, they're at 65%. Yeah, we'll just take this. I'll just be back later. Just want to get my monarch points from these guys. This is going to be the good one. Look at that. 114 admin, 85 diplo, 57 mil. Alright, our truce with Ming is over. This time we really will take the Mandate of Heaven. I'll show you guys why. And remember when I said that I should have maybe possibly just waited on that one mission? Because Nurhaci was 35 years old. Yeah, he just died. Literally the month after I just declared war on Ming. So this mission right here, formalize ritual practices. We need to either take yellow shamanism or black shamanism via national decision. You just need 3 admin for your ruler to take yellow shamanism. For black shamanism, you just don't have a secondary faith, because you are Tengri, so you do actually get to choose 2 religions. Pretty much you got Tengri, and in our case we start out synchronized with Confucian. I'm just going to take this one. I just have to stab up once. They have religious unity of at least 95. How do I not? Oh, after I convert this province probably. And I don't like this. I don't like how Uzbek said, you know what, I'm going to snake all the way across to touch later Jin. Like, that's so annoying, dude. And I guarantee either them or Chagatai are at least 300 development, which is going to suck. Uzbek, 255 development. Okay, so I lucked out there. And Chagatai is under 200. But that would mean I would get the nomadic frontiers disaster. I really don't want that. That means your whole country is pretty much falling apart when you become the emperor then. At 30% war score, I could go ahead, claim the Mandate of Heaven. I am now the Emperor of China, meaning that I could go ahead and form the Qing. So now we are a straight up empire, and we got reconquest and a bunch of claims on all of China. And as I mentioned earlier, we do get some more missions all of a sudden. We got the Emperor of China mission. So these are the ones, no matter what nation you play, as soon as you become the Emperor of China, you get these missions. Down here, these are all Qing specific missions. But pretty much it's just down to just consolidating all of China. And now that we are also the Qing, instead of us having tribes, we're no longer a nomadic civilization. We are now a settled society. Again, we're the Emperor of China. So now we have estates. Renaissance, don't mind if I do. And I could actually get Mill Tech 7 and Admin Tech 5. Finally pick up our first idea group, which, speaking of ideas, let's talk about how fantastic these Qing ideas are. Qing ideas give you core creation cost immediately 25%, AE impact, advisor cost when you finish all their ideas, more banners, national manpower and manpower recovery speed, national unrest, years of separatism, and +1 meritocracy, which is basically our legitimacy, admin efficiency, so you can actually take more provinces and for cheaper, state maintenance, monthly autonomy change, and 15% morale of armies and 50% prestige from land battles. Since we are an empire, we have actually a lot of governing capacity all of a sudden. But that being said, I will be taking administrative ideas, stack that core creation cost, because we are going to have to start coring a lot of this stuff up. Alternatively, I mean, I could take offensive ideas. I really like offensive ideas. Yeah, screw it, we're going to take offensive ideas. Now, since we are the Emperor of China, we do get a unique estate, which are the eunuchs. These guys, they're good and they're bad. They give you some really good modifiers, but at the expense of even more corruption. You don't want the corruption. The corruption is just going to bring down your mandate, which obviously is already going down because I don't have Canton, Nanjing, and I have 5 loans. Thank you, Burger loans, along with a ton of devastation in China. I don't recommend doing any of that stuff with the eunuchs, though. I mean, some of the things that you can get are very, very good, I will admit. In this event right here, this is actually a very important event. This determines the outcome of this mission right here, Cornerstone of the Empire. Personally, I like this top option. I like to curb my eunuchs, take away 5% crownlands from them, so I get it. Otherwise, you could get a whole stability, corruption, stuff like that, but that's if you're going to use the eunuchs. I personally don't like using the eunuchs, so I'm just going to take this option right here. Also just going to do this really quick, just so that way they don't drop below that percentage. But I mean, now we're at 70% crownlands, so I mean, you know, if we were in age absolutism, like, this would be perfect right now. Now, when we look at what's going on in Ming right now, you have two options. Either you could go ahead, truce break these guys, lose your 5 stability, or you wait until these nations pop out of them. I'm going to do a bit of both. I'm going to go ahead, truce break them with the unified China CB. And you're probably scratching your head like, Chairman, why are you going to do this? Why are you going to lose 5 stability? Why are you going to go ahead, truce break them? Especially when a lot of people are going to hate you, right? No, it's just going to be Ming and Korea. Well, I'll show you guys why. So, of course, as I mentioned, we have permanent claims on pretty much the entirety of China. Using the unified China CB, when we actually occupy one of these provinces, we're actually going to go ahead and get the province as a core, so we don't have to spend any admin. So watch. For example, Hejian, we just have a permanent claim on the province. We're going to occupy this. I now have a core on the province. So that's how you're going to be able to conquer like all of China, like immediately, pretty much. Tier 2 government reform, we're going to go with strength and noble privileges just to stack our disgusting manpower once we actually own all of China even more. Alright, so with Ming, we're just going to completely encircle these guys. Boom. Is going to block off pretty much everybody from invading them. We're going to go ahead, truce break them again in a minute here, just so that way I can continue just taking over as much of China very, very quickly. And also too, Wu did pop out of Ming, so yeah, I mean, at some point we could easily just take over Wu, as long as they don't ally Korea, which Korea was being invaded by Japan, and currently Korea is beating up on Japan. In fact, they own Kyoto. So I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm not going to question it. And after our second war, we pretty much are owning like full solid China. I think it's only going to take us realistically like maybe, I mean, it's saying 3 wars. I could see 3 wars just because all of this is super high dev. But we could go ahead and complete another mission on these guys. The 3 feudatories own at least 20 provinces down here, and I just have to be at peace with Wu. I get a subjugation CB on these guys. Historically, the marquis of both Wu and Yue popped out of the Ming after the Qing were starting to consolidate northern China, and they had a high degree of autonomy. Long story short, huge civil war, millions of people died in that war. And just so that way Qing could just, at that point, they consolidated their power and stuff. So it was a very, very horrible war, especially after just taking over like all of China. Oh, as you look at that, Ming actually allied this Japanese nation, Ochi, over here. So, I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. And while I'm in this war, I might as well go ahead and invade Wu. I'm basically gonna wait until Ochi could kind of get out of this war before I could get 100% war score on these guys. With me doing a quick war against both Wu and literally conquering all of southern China here, I could complete secure South China, owning 50 provinces in the Xinnan, South China regions. We get goods producer modifier plus 10% for the next 25 years, and a really cheap level 3 mill advisor as well. Alright, I'm about to get that disaster unguarded nomadic frontier, so before that even fires, we're going to war against Chagatai, or no, Uzbek here. We're just going to be taking provinces, or at least like releasing nations out of both of these guys, because both of them need to be beat up in order for me to like not have that disaster. While most of China, as I mentioned, sieging on those provinces, there are cores. When we go to state all this stuff, it's still going to cost us admin. So, I mean, that part does suck, but it is cheaper. It is very much cheaper, but still. I mean, we save a lot just on coring something than stating it up again. So, you take what you can get, I guess. Alright, so the only issue I'm really facing right now is my mandate sucks. And it's because I stated everything up. Why did I do that? I figured I'll just take my lumps. Nobody's really going to be invading me right now. It's really just kind of a period of peace. And obviously at some point I'm going to be invading Ming, finishing off Korea, whatever, etc. But, I mean, nobody, like Chagatai is probably not going to be attacking me anytime soon. Daiviet, probably not going to be attacking me anytime soon. Same thing with Lan Shan. In fact, some of these guys I might be able to actually get a tributary out of. It would actually be very, very nice. It's going to give me more mandate. So like Oirat, for example, I did win my war against Uzbek. I actually gave Oirat a couple cores back just so I don't have a border with Uzbek. I'm going to use them as like a border state for right now. And because I have Oirat and Kham as tributaries, they are giving me a little bit of mandate. Not a lot, but I mean, I'll take it. Really, it just comes down to my devastation. If I didn't have devastation, I'd be getting positive mandate right now. But yeah, we also have a gold mine right here. So yeah, I kind of sort of need to dev this up. Get gold going in our country. It's going to make us a ton of money. I also apparently completed an additional mission, which is, oh, this one up here. So I have yellow shamanism enacted. So because I did yellow shamanism as opposed to black shamanism, I got tolerance of heathens and max tolerance of heathens. There we go. Almost done with all these up here. Here, 3 government reform. We're going to go with examination system. Kind of more the historical-ish route. Oh, would you look at that? That little island off the coast of China is actually a thing. So let's go ahead. Start getting that island. I think it belongs to us. I think one of the things that really sucks about being the Emperor of China is just simply dealing with this mandate thing. Because honestly, it is very, very tough to deal with. The primary issue is just simply, obviously you're going to be conquering all of China. The devastation after you conquer all of China is very, very high. So you're just constantly losing mandate just because you have no prosperity in this area whatsoever. So in that regard, it's rough. And I mean, you know, for the past, I think 15, 20 years now, we've been focused on just trying to basically stomp out rebels. You get rebel bombed as well too, like whatever your mandate's very low. If I mouse over this, our national unrest will go all the way up to 5. And there's just so many horrible things that happen, you know, like having low mandate. I mean, luckily our manpower is okay, but dog, like it could be rough. And I'm in freaking internal conflicts, which is the only way that this is gonna go down is if mandate goes up. Oh my god, this is horrible, man. And it was just growing just a minute ago, but now it's not. Oh boy, I didn't even notice it, but we're in the age of Reformation. Next age is literally our age, so age of absolutism. That's when things are going to get a lot easier for us. Well, some positive news. I can consolidate North China because I own 35 provinces over here. So I'm going to get 20 mandate, at least that, lose devastation, which is fantastic, lose autonomy. So needed. It is needed. Oh my god, we are so close to finally getting, we're literally halfway there to 50, and we're actually gaining mandate right now, and that's the important thing. I really need that. I think it's time finally in 1519 that we go ahead and extinguish out the Ming, which we'll call in Daiviet. We're just gonna take money, war reps from these guys. We're gonna focus on them first too, but I mean, Ming, they're done. They've been done for a while. If it wasn't for all the issues and disasters that I've had to deal with at this point, like, they would have been gone a long time ago. But hey, they're finally doing it now, huh? I think it's time we finally also finish off Korea. I don't know if we'll be able to fully annex them in this war. I don't believe so. Yeah, it'll be close. We're not going to be able to, but there'll be an OPM and that's fine. My second idea group, I'm going to do a little bit of a controversial pick here. I'm going to pick up court ideas because it does give me mandate growth modifier. Plus, for the Emperor of China, this idea group's actually pretty good. It's not even like necessarily, I mean, alternatively I could go with influence ideas. Influence ideas is also very good. But court ideas, I haven't really played around with them too much, and honestly I'm kind of interested to see how this goes. It's like some of these policies are actually pretty good. Like with offensive ideas, you get that morale damage plus 10%. So tier 4 government reform, I'm gonna go with strengthen Confucian bureaucracy. This is gonna give me more governing capacity. It also speeds up how fast I can harmonize with religions. We are Confucian, so we can pretty much just get bonuses for just incorporating religions into our religion and stuff. So right now I'm doing Vajrayana. When that is done, Vajrayana is going to give us an additional 10% production efficiency. And finally, we are above 50 mandate. Means we can finally play the game again, guys. We can finally do whatever the heck we want. The only issue is now I have to get my manpower up, and then also I have to get over to figure out my whole GovCap thing by getting an Admin Tech 8 here.
Don't remember if I mentioned this, but I did a war against Korea, finish conquering the entire Korean peninsula over here. I could go ahead and complete the Hermit Kingdom. Now, when you complete this, we get an ability to adopt an aspect of Korea as part of our country. We could get cheaper tech costs for about the next 25 years, goods produced for 25 years, manpower, idea costs, and warriors don't read books, malice will be reduced, or culture conversion costs. We're going to go for that tech cost one. My tech, I mean, particularly my admin, is really not that good. So we're going to go for this one here. And all of a sudden now I could actually get admin tech. But I'm going to go ahead and core up those couple provinces I just took from Korea first. And then we'll worry about that later. And yeah, so far, not bad. I mean, like, in terms of missions, obviously, it's 1539. I feel like we could actually have been a little bit further along here. But also, a lot of this has to do, I mean, especially these Emperor of China missions, really have to do with the fact that my mandate kind of sucks right now. So, obviously, once that changes, things are going to go a lot easier. Even same thing down here with these bottom Qing missions here. I need to have a lot of meritocracy. I'm just not getting any meritocracy, and that's because my negative mandate modifier right now. And also, too, the only other way really to get meritocracy is just having really good advisors, high harmony, and, of course, some great projects, which we do have quite a lot over here in China. For example, we have the Great Wall. When you do become the emperor, you get an option to go ahead and rebuild the Great Wall, which of course I did. We got the Forbidden City, which is going to be absolutely amazing when we get into Age of Absolutism. Temple of Confucius, pretty decent one. And over here, in these states, so this great project, the Nanjing Canal, actually spans between all four of these provinces. Meanwhile, the Porcelain Tower of Nanjing over here, I'm going to have to dev this up, or at least build this up. I mean, the institution spread, institution embracement cost, and the yearly meritocracy is fantastic from that. And the last great project that we actually have is this right here in Chengde, which gives us possible number of buildings plus 1. Province governing costs, which is very nice if you decide to play very tall in this region. Local dev costs and global monthly devastation, which is very, very nice. For especially a nation like Qing, where guess what, a lot of our provinces have been burning to the ground pretty much for a long time now. One thing I will say that is very, very nice, and this is in large part to us owning the entirety of China, is we're making almost 50 ducats a month. I mean, you look at where that income is actually coming from, between tax, production, trade, and even our gold mine, which did go down. I actually had a negative event that knocked it all the way down from 11 to 6. So, I mean, we are making money. We are actually making money, which is fantastic because, I mean, at least I don't have any loans. You don't want to be taking loans as the Emperor of China. You actually get a negative mandate malice for it. That's right. It just seems like there's a lot more negative malices for the Emperor of China than there are positive ones, which I think is very, very accurate. But, yeah, so we're kind of dealing with that right now, as I mentioned earlier. Part of the reason why we're not going through as many of these missions as we really should be is just quite simply, you know, we're waiting on mandate to go up. We're waiting for us to get more money to bring up that meritocracy, which is just really a pain right now for me. I mean, literally, these two missions right here, I need at least 80 meritocracy. Both of them. This one, I just simply need my mandate up, absolutism, or land rights to all my estates. This one, I have to have at least 40% crown lands because I chose not to empower the eunuchs. So I guess this mission I can actually complete, which is expand the Bogue. And I could also do this one. These are some developmental missions as well too. And this one I just simply have to get my eunuchs to actually be a little bit more happy with me, which of course they're not because I haven't been doing anything with my eunuchs at all. Finally, I completed this mission for the Horde. I just had to simply have either a subject or an ally be part of the Altaic group, 150 opinion of me with a royal marriage, or I accept any culture that is part of the Altaic group. I guess I could have done Mongol, but it still takes me over my governing capacity. Plus, we have to be focusing on either Diplo, earn at least 8 Diplo a month, or have +1 stability. Doing it the way I did it, which is having Korchin as my tributary state, we get yearly army tradition and special unit force limit modifier. We also get a level 2 diplomat as well, who is half cost. And if we did this through accepting Altaic culture, we get dev costs and monthly autonomy change. So we're going to go ahead and do this. And because I went ahead, embraced all my active institutions, so that's colonialism, Renaissance, I have been gaining at least 9 admin a month. I'm currently gaining at least 12. No loans, not running a deficit. My ruler has an admin skill. No, not of that. My innovativeness is at least 40. It's currently 40.7. And I'm employing an admin advisor who is at least level 3. I could complete a Manchu script, gain a 5 additional innovativeness. Very, very nice, of course. Innovativeness being one of the best modifiers in the game. And in terms of these early missions, it's just this one, 8 banners. I just simply need to build up my army more. It's, as you guys can see, literally half the size of what it can be. And then I could literally complete these 2 missions. And then this one here, I need to be employing at least a level 3 Diplo, Mill, Admin Advisor, 2 Stability, and 40% Crown Lands. I'm currently at 32%. Trying to get my eunuchs loyalty up before I go ahead and start seizing some of the land away from all these people. Finally, we are over 50 mandate. This took for freaking ever, dog. Forever. So it's not even worth it to like lower that mandate at all. But finally, we could start basically moving on with some of the things that I really want to do. Granted, I can't do any of these down here, but I can at least start getting closer to doing these missions. Instead, we're going to start focusing more on this part of our Chinese mission tree, like taming China's sorrow. So, if you guys don't know, being the emperor of China or simply owning any provinces along the river right over here. So, if you guys don't know, basically owning provinces along the river right up here is actually going to lead to you having flood disasters all the time. You're going to lose mandate, you're going to lose 2 stability. It's just not a good time. Plus you get a bunch of devastation. Literally kills your nation. Completing this Tame China's Sorrow will actually lower the amount of times that this is going to happen to us, and it's not going to be as devastating as it normally would be. I'm going to go ahead and dev up all these provinces at least 3 times. And because I went and dev up those provinces, I get Yellow River Dikes. We gain 5 mandate. All those provinces that were required in that mission to get dev'd up, get local dev cost, local tax modifier, and monthly devastation. Also, the important one, potential floods along the Yellow River will be significantly less devastating for us. That's fantastic, because I hate seeing that stupid event pop up and then my mandate just gets tanked and my stability, same thing. It just sucks. Alright, so third idea group time. I've had to think actually quite a bit on this one, particular because this run is very different than any other run I normally do as Qing. Obviously as Qing, you're going to go on and conquer a ton of stuff. This is mission tree only, so of course this is very much different than your usual EU4 game. Now, considering our technology has been less than subpar this entire game, we're going to be going with innovative ideas. Now, before you scoff, click off the video. Before you scoff and before you click off the video and just say, Chairman, you're an idiot for choosing innovative ideas. Innovative ideas, especially in this area, is very, very good because you're going to get, obviously, the innovativeness gain. You're going to get the tech cost, cheaper institution embracement cost, which does pair up nicely with that porcelain tower. More advisors, institution spread, and when you fully unlock their entire ideas, you get even cheaper advisors. Also, just an added bonus are some of these policies that you get from innovative with offensive and court ideas. Court ideas with innovative gives you average monarch lifespan plus 25% and no stab loss when your ruler dies. Plus, with offensive ideas, you get an additional guaranteed +1 leader siege and plus 10% siege ability. So that in itself is very, very nice. And considering probably our fourth idea group is more than likely going to be either quality or even quantity ideas. I mean, the policies, even with those, are going to be great as well, too. Also, gotta love how our only potential rival are the Ottomans, not even Russia. And that's because Russia hasn't had a really good game necessarily. And I think that's in part because Sweden is allied to both Poland and Lithuania. What? Why Lithuania? Why are you independent, dude? What the heck? Do you have cores that you just no? Russia just recently lost to both Sweden, Poland, Lithuania. Okay, that makes sense. That explains why Russia's kind of sucky this game. I can finally complete form the depots over here. Just need to have at least a spy master, or my ruler's a web weaver, ruler diplomatic skill of at least 5. So these are all the alternative options. I have a spy master, or just simply focus on diplo. One of the following must be true. I own Baoding, and development of it is at least 15. I also own Yangping. Development has to be at least 15, and my Unix loyalty is at least 60. We get the Eastern and Western bureaus. It says this event will allow us to choose between the Western and Eastern bureaus, but it made that choice for me. I don't know, game. This mission right here, outer city of Beijing, we need a temple, workshop, and marketplace here. Oh, and a barracks. Has to have at least 50 prosperity, which it is a very prosperous state right now. Or at least expand infrastructure 1 time, and the development needs to be at least 35. We get outer wall of Beijing till the end of the province, or until the province is sieged by an enemy army, giving us a +2 fort level, which is actually really disgusting. And then while Beijing has a manufactory, we actually get +2 local goods produced. So we are definitely going to be building a manufactory here as well, just to get that additional local goods produced, because man, that's going to make a lot of money. I can finally complete court ideas, which gives us a guaranteed +1 monarch diplo skill and a free diplo policy. And on top of that, when you finish court ideas, you get mandate growth modifier 0.10, which is very nice. And you also get 0.25 meritocracy. If you're the emperor to HRE, you get +5 imperial authority growth. That's also extremely nice. But man, for being the emperor of China, that was very much needed just to finish off, or just to make things a lot easier on myself. I could go ahead, now that I just seized crownlands from all of my estates, I now have 40% here. Complete cornerstone of an empire. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. You know, in my case, I impose restrictions on my Unix. So because of that, I just simply had to employ an admin advisor, diplo advisor, mill advisor, and have 40% crownlands. Alternatively, have 5 privileges given to the Unix along with 60 loyalty. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. We're going to get expand palace bureaucracy decree. Will also give us 20% cheaper advisors. So you pair that up with innovative ideas, we all of a sudden have 40% cheaper advisors. And that's going to be found right here, where we get dev cost, advisor cost, and core creation cost. I can complete expand the Bogue because I've improved Canton at least 4 times, expanded infrastructure here, built a marketplace, and my Shangbong loyalty is at least 60 or greater. We get Pearl Estuary in Canton. So pretty much we have a natural harbor here. We get the Bogue, which now gets expanded to local trade power and local governing, increased cost minus 50. I can go ahead and complete a couple different missions, such as factional stability over here. Just need to complete all the previous missions, employ a level 3 admin, diplo, mill advisor, 2 stability, 40% crownlands, and not running a deficit. For the next 20 years, we get a guaranteed +1 monthly admin power. All estates loyalty equilibrium goes up. We get 10 meritocracy and 100% government reform progress. I could also complete the 8 banners, have at least 8 banner regiments. I mean, you guys see, I have at least 5 different regiments. All of them have at least 4. So that means I have 20. I have to have at least 90% of my force limit, either 50% army professionalism, 70 army tradition, or employing a mill advisor. I have the mill advisor. My army professionalism is not that good. My army tradition's not that good. So mill advisor it is. Whoop. And now we're going to gain army drill gain modifier till the end of the game with plus 33%, and all my banner regiments will refund 0.04 corruption. I could also complete End the Yuan, which just requires me pretty much to own 15 provinces over here in Mongolia. We get 50 power projection, 20 prestige, which gets converted to monarch power if it goes over 100, and we get 10 mandate. So not bad at all. Also, I'm going to go ahead and pick up another government reform. This time we're going to pick up the 8 banners. Alternatively, you can pick up the Green Standard Army, which gives us 10% manpower of the enemy troops which fell in battle, plus 20% manpower recovery speed. But I like this one. We're going to get some movement speed, very underrated. They also get 33% reinforced speed and minus 10 attrition. All my banners do. Yearly army tradition decay and potential for even more banners. Alright, I have really no plans of going to war anytime soon, so we could actually go ahead pass a mandate reform here, which I'm going to go with new Keju formats. This is going to give us more mandate growth modifier, reform progress growth, and any of my tributaries, which is just Korchin. It's going to get governing capacity plus 5%. We're going to lose 70 mandate and a stability. But, I mean, we have to actually pass a lot of mandate reforms in some of these missions, actually. One of them, I believe, we actually have to pass something like almost 8 mandate reforms. I boosted my stability all the way up to 3, meaning I could complete 2 missions. So I could complete the Censorate. I have no corruption. I have an admin, diplo, mill advisor, all level 3, 3 stability. Unrest is below 5. I have negative 13 unrest. And 15 provinces need to have at least a courthouse. We get the Great Qing's Supervisory Agency. For the next 25 years, we could choose any one of these 3. I like this one here with the mandate growth modifier for the next 25 years. Granted, all my estates are going to be a little bit more influential by plus 10, but also too, like, they're all so loyal and they don't hold like that much influence over me. And I want to try and get as many of these mandates passed as possible, especially knowing that I'm going to have to pass a lot of these guys just so I could complete these missions. I could also apparently complete Grand Coordinators, needing at least 90 meritocracy, have at least 10 admin I'm gaining a month. My eunuchs are 60% loyal and have 60% influence. I get enables the use of the 3 Grand Coordinator offices via the state screen. So let's go ahead and talk about these. Looking at Hebei over here, similar to the organizations that the Iberians get to use, you know, one costing admin, one costing diplo, and one costing mill. And it also hands out base tax, production, or mill or manpower in all the entire state. We get local tax, province governing cost, very nice. Local unrest, local production efficiency, local recruitment time, and friendly movement speed. Really, these top two options should be the two that you're basically doing everywhere. I mean, when we look at China, I mean, even though I burned all of China to the ground, like literally, if you guys don't remember earlier on, burn as many of these provinces down as possible. Granted, yeah, again, I did also do a reconquest war for a lot of China, but I did burn a lot of these down. So because of that, it made things a lot easier. But a lot of these provinces are still very much high development, meaning that we can maximize the amount of money that comes out of them, like here with this production efficiency. This entire state is very developed. I just did that one, and we're going to be making more money off of this one state. This one here with the gold mine. Imagine that with production efficiency, right? Yeah, that's what we're going to do over here. I also realized I could incorporate the Han. This all my provinces. Oh my god. I just realized I can also complete the mission incorporate the Han, which is all my provinces need to have at least less than 10% autonomy, unrest below 1, meritocracy at least 85, I'm at 92, and my stabs at 3. We get global prosperity for the next 25 years in all of our provinces, and every reform we pass as Emperor of China will lower the autonomy of all my own provinces. That is actually subtly, like, pretty nice. I could go ahead complete balance the mandate, which requires us to have at least 75 mandate, 1 celestial reform passed, 80 meritocracy, 3 stability, 10 admin, mill, and diplo gained a month. We get a new Chinese dynasty for 20 years, national unrest, monthly mandate, we get a new Chinese dynasty for the next 20 years, giving us national unrest, mandate growth, and 25 prestige. And apparently, I've already completed this one, Prosperous Age of Qing. All the following needs to be true. Either my monthly income's at least 300, and I've had a golden era, or I'm in a golden era. Total development has grown by 1,250. And I'm a great power rank better than 4. Or the bottom option, which is on the Emperor, stability is at least 3, mandate at least 85, and passed 8 celestial reforms. I'm assuming it's probably the second option where I've grown by at least 1,250 development since I'm at 1,612. And I'm the number 2 great power in the world right now. So we're going to go ahead and complete this. We get the Prosperous Age of Kangxi and Fen Yi. So we get all power costs reduced for about the next 50 years, plus 10 mandate. We're getting pretty close to the end here on the Qing missions, actually. These are actually going a lot faster than I thought. See, like I told you guys, once we just got our meritocracy up, once we got our mandate up, this is going by so much faster. And because I have at least 85 mandate, I don't have civil registration enacted through the Empire of China, so this is not enacted currently. I have all of my estates loyalty at least 60 or greater. I also have the Celestial Decree, which is this one here, conduct census population, or population census, excuse me, enacted. And I have at least 150 government reform. We go ahead and complete this. We're going to get it actually a +1 monthly administrative power along with our ruler becoming a reformist. I'm pretty sure as well too, until the death of my ruler, we get monthly reform progress and all estates influence modifier because we chose to cooperate with the estates. And I could also complete examination system apparently here. I just have to have the government reform enacted examination system, which I do have enacted right here. Reach at least level 3 in government reforms. So all I needed to do actually for this is I just had to enact one of these. So I had to either not have examination system or have examination system. Near the province of Xi'an, which is this one right here. This is the traditional capital of the older dynasties in China. And 45% crownlands. We could complete this. We get the event Keju, which Xi'an gets Hanlin Academy, giving the following effects. This is going to be until the end of the game. Yearly corruption, governing capacity plus 5%, Unix loyalty equilibrium, and 100 splendor, which is just a nice little icing on the cake. I'm going to go ahead and pass another mandate reform. We're actually gaining 0.60 a month. That's super nice. I'm going to do delegate Jianzhou over here. And that's just quite simply, I have to do this for another mission. This is going to give us monthly autonomy change. That's pretty good. And then all my tributaries, aka just Korchen, is going to get state maintenance. I could go ahead and complete the Jinghang Grand Canal, which is, I did this, you can do this whichever way you want. I did this what I think is the easier way. So you can either upgrade all the Great Project, the Grand Canal over here, this one, to size 2. So that means each one of these, all 4 provinces, need to be upgraded to at least level 2. Or alternatively, and this is how I did it, build at least 3 buildings. So that's a workshop, marketplace, and a temple, and expanding infrastructure in these provinces at least one time. We get the Grand Canals of China. So we get a great engineer until the death of our ruler. So we get construction cost, construction time, and every province with a canal will gain 1 base production. And all the workshops here are no longer just going to be workshops. They're going to become counting houses, or in this case, Haiguan, which is a counting house. So all 4 of these provinces are going to be making us a lot more money than they already were. I devved up the province of Jianzhou over here at least 5 times. You need at least 15 temples, and you need to have a temple in the province of Jianzhou, and 90% harmony, which refers to our Confucianism harmony over here. There's a great project, the Temple of Confucius. This is going to get upgraded by at least once. We're going to get more prestige, harmony. Our clergy estate's going to be more happy with us, and we get a free stability and a great temple in that province. One of my favorite things, and this makes playing literally anywhere outside of Europe easier, simply ask for knowledge sharing. Castile is neutral towards me. I just simply had to improve relations with these guys. I can now get knowledge sharing for 17 ducats a month, which is like pennies to me pretty much. And all of a sudden, I'm going to start getting printing press, which is going to make me by far the most advanced nation in Asia, because the only places that have printing press, of course, is going to be Western Europe. Even Russia doesn't have printing press right now. So I got to take advantage of that and, you know, really get ahead of some of these neighbors that I'm going to eventually be conquering. Okay, go ahead, complete single whip law. I enacted that 1 celestial reform, delegate Jianzhou over here. I've also bumped up Hengyang back from 6 production back up to 12. Laijiao is also up to 12. So that is this province here and also this one here that need to both be at 12. Inflation's less than 1, no loans, making more than 35 ducats a month. And I also have the single whip law actually granted to my eunuchs, which is actually decent. It's giving me more tax. After building 8 naval batteries in provinces that are 20 development and building 50 light ships to protect trade, I also set my focus from admin over to Diplo now. I could complete fortify the coast. So we're going to get our admin advisor per level is going to give us -2 development cost. We also got safe coast for the next 25 years, so local goods produced. After completing innovative ideas, I can finally complete this mission right here, Yongle Da Dien, which just simply requires us to complete the previous 2 missions. 80 mandate, I'm at 91. 4 provinces that produce paper need to have base production of at least 10 with a workshop. And we need to have either embraced printing press or complete innovative ideas, or our ruler has to be a free thinker or scholar. Innovative ideas, that's how we completed this. And we get 7.50 innovativeness, which does allow us to go ahead and do just that. We could finally get caught up in tech, guys. Look at that. Look at that. That's so bad. I'll gladly replace my current era with a darn near perfect 665 who's only 18 years old. Yeah, I like that idea. I'm going to go ahead and pass an additional reform. Really, the issue here is just trying to figure out which reform I want to pass. But we are going to go with this one here. This is going to give me an additional merchant trade power. I can finally complete Green Standard Army. You had 50 Army Professionalism. That's how we completed this. Or have 80 Army Tradition. and an army equal or larger than 150,000. We could complete this, get the Green Standard Army, get 20,000 manpower and 10 mandate, which is nice because we're at 43 right now. And then because I killed off the Ming, we could do extinguish the Ming, get another 20 mandate and cores on all unowned provinces on the Chinese subcontinent, aka just my subject of Mao, because I have cores literally everywhere else. Alright, I could complete 10 great campaigns. I literally just hired one more bannerman, hired the Grand Company, boom, land attrition, mandate growth for the next 20 years, permanent claims, and literally a ton of stuff all around me. So literally all of Mongolia, good portion of Chagatai, going pretty much historical Qing at this point for their borders. I could finally get rid of Cochin, the nation that's been bothering me this entire game because they're in the middle of my country. I could finally get rid of them. Dai Viet, I could get rid of them. I'm going to have to fight my arch nemesis of Bengal, my ally Ava, my ally Tongu, but you know what? That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, guys. We're just going to have to do it. I was wondering, I'm like, why is Integrate Taiwan not completed? I'm like, I literally own all this. No, I have to build a dock, marketplace, shipyard, improve the capital, you know, like this province right here, to help my governing capacity out here, because we need to knock down my governing capacity before I go on all these campaigns. If anything, we're probably going to wait until the Age of Absolutism so I could just start stacking up all these bonuses, get a ton of admin efficiency, and just pretty much just knock out a bunch of this land like right away. Especially against Chagatai, I should be able to almost like, not full annex them, but take like damn near half their country in one war. So 1600s rolls around, we're going to go on a full military conquest spree. Heck, we're even going to go to war against Russia here. I honestly think that we could really beat down on Russia. Alright, because I built all those buildings here in Taiwan and improved the province of Tainan at least 5 times, I get a level 2 center of trade. The province gets local ship costs and local repair minus 25. We get naval tradition and permanent claims over on the northern end of the Philippines. So pretty much all of Tondo. And then these couple provinces here, which I should be able to get, yeah, this, oh, I need an explorer in order to get this one. Okay. I mean, I guess what I could do is actually drop aristocratic ideas. Screw it, we're just going to drop it just so I can complete this stuff. So we'll go ahead and do this. I can actually finally complete mutual trade system. I did this diplomatically. You could do this either with 5 tributaries that have 120 opinion of you with less than 10 liberty desire. Nobody wants to be my tributary. Plus, again, I keep hyping up all these wars that we're going to do. I promise. Age of Absolutism, we're doing all these wars. But for now, I got all my allies to like us at least 150 opinion, get 70 trust with us, and government reform progress is at least 150. So because I did this with my allies, they're going to get trade access in China as long as we remain allies. So they get plus 5 trade efficiency. Good, whatever, whoop-de-doo. I get 5 Imperial mandate per ally, which comes out to 20, and I also get 10% idea costs and 10% goods produced. If I did this with tributaries, we could actually get more monarch points out of our subjects. That, in my opinion, is the better option, but nobody wants to be my tributary, and I don't feel like fighting a bunch of people to force them to be my tributary, especially when we're just going to be invading them for straight up conquest. So we'll go ahead and complete this. And now we're literally just down to these 2 for the Chinese missions. So we got all the Jurchen missions done. Pretty much all the Chinese missions done aside from these 2. And Qing, we are getting there. We are almost there. I'm going to go ahead and invade Tondo down here. Well, actually not Tondo, Manila, which will call on Tondo. And I'll just co-belligerent them. I got to full annex both of these guys. It's, you know, all of our claims down here is literally these 2 guys. Oh, and the 3 uncolonized provinces. So this is actually a pretty good celestial reform. So this is actually a pretty good celestial reform. We get a guaranteed +1 monarch admin skill. Honestly, I think that's probably going to be the best one that we have right now. I think it's time we just go ahead and invade Chagatai. They're not allied to anybody like really big. I have 5 admin efficiency currently before Age of Absolutism. I also want to do this Actually, before the Ottomans start bordering these guys, because otherwise that's going to be a much, much harder war. So obviously we want to do this now. And this is what it looks like when you're 2 mil-techs ahead of somebody. Yeah, it's easy as that. And now I'm going to invade the nation of Sarig Yogur. I'm going to give Kham those 2 provinces, and I'm going to wipe peace out Chagatai to basically reset my truce with these guys. Alright, Korchin, we all knew this day was coming. It was just a matter of when, and it's finally happening. You're no longer going to be splitting the northern part of my country in 2 like this. You're finally going to be incorporated into my Qing and my Da Qing. Oh my god, that's so much better. That's literally so much better. You gotta be kidding me. They're literally these last 2 provinces over here. Chagatai still lives on, guys. Oh, but you know, I could invade Guge over here and we could just end them right away. Oh, thank God. Now that's more like it. I like seeing a larger Qing. Finally, we are in the age of absolutism. This is one of the best ages in the entire game, especially for expansion. We have at least 5 trade companies. That's right. Because I'm in trade company anything that I possibly can over here. I also finally finished colonizing the Philippines. So literally all this is actually like a province. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and drop exploration ideas, and we're going to go ahead and pick up quality ideas instead. I'm going to do something a little bit iffy here. We're going to go ahead and invade Russia, of all people. We're a whole mil-tech ahead of Russia. They just got printing press while I just got global trade. So I'm going to attack them for literally, I just need these like 3 provinces from them. And then that's it. That's literally all I need. And I think we could do it with just taking a war score pretty much. And sure, I'll march all the way to Moscow just to do it, but still. Here we go, actually fighting the Russians. About equal in terms of morale. I got a little bit better discipline. I mean, that was actually pretty easy. I just simply had to occupy their 3 forts here, beat them in a couple battles, and like I said, ticking war score. And I could get the 3 provinces I need from Russia. Oh, and 100 ducats. We're going to do a very big war. Actually, this war is more challenging than that Russian war. We're going to invade Jaunpur for all their stuff up here in Tibet. We'll go ahead and invade them for Lhasa, calling our newly acquired ally Bahmanes over here. And all this is very cheap stuff. Obviously, not really high dev. So, should be able to take everything in one war. Oh, and Timurids are still alive too, by the way, if you guys were interested in how they were doing. This was actually easy enough war. Bahmanes took literally the brunt of everything. I even unallied these guys just to get Gudra out of the war. But yeah, I can take all the Tibetan stuff. There we go. Boom. Tibet's now ours. In fact, I could complete the mission, annex Tibet, where we get 20 army tradition, the province of Rutog, which is, I'm assuming, probably over here somewhere. Oh, this one right here. Alright, so 5th idea group time. We're going to go ahead and pick up economic ideas. Okay, so I noticed that Dai Viet is actually a war with Bengal because they're trying to defend their ally over here, Lana. I'm assuming Lana, yeah, they don't want to help them out. So we're just going to go ahead and jump onto Dai Viet. Basically conquer all of the Vietnamese provinces over here. I'm going to start pushing into Burma. And we pretty much have conquered everything that we get permanent claims on. I'm also starting to integrate my boy Kham over here. So for my tier 8 government reform, this is very important. So the one mission all the way at the bottom here, globalization of trade, requires us to take either embrace free trade or mercantilistic approach. Now, if you go free trade, that's going to guide you down more of a colonial path. So it'll actually require you for the next couple missions to actually have colonies set up colonial nations. We're going to go towards the mercantilistic approach. I feel like that's kind of a little bit more of the challenging one, believe it or not. And that's because this mission down here is going to require us to have the highest value trade node in the entire world. I mean, it's at 54 ducats right now, but we are competing with the English Channel, which is literally double our size. So I'll go ahead, take mercantilistic approach. And you know what? I see Lena is actually putting up a really good fight against Bengal right now. And honestly, we're just going to go for it. We're going to go ahead and invade my arch nemesis of Bengal. They're allied to both Delhi and Malwa. Malwa does not really matter at all. Delhi, actually relatively decent size with 30,000 troops.
Bengal has no manpower whatsoever, so we'll go ahead and invade them. I won't be able to take all of Burma from Bengal, but pretty much kicking them out of the main inland portion of Burma. Okay, so I kind of went a little bit mad here, and I attack Lala, Ava, Hispa, full annex, well, pretty much full annex Daiviet. In terms of overextension, yeah, we're at 243. And I broke my alliance with Tangu. We're probably going to invade these guys very soon, too. We got a 5-year truce with them. Alternatively, we could probably invade Bengal. 13 years. I can finally complete modernized banners. I have 32 banners in my army. Completed the Celestial Reform, popularized the banners. Army Reformer Advisor is at least level 5. Completed, obviously, offensive ideas. Reached tier or level 7 in government reforms and completed the previous mission. We get new banner regiments till the end of the game, giving the banners additional morale damage plus 10%, and we get 100 mil power. So luckily, I can actually get all the provinces I have a claim on from Bengal in this Tangu war, even though I did not co-belligerent these guys. Now for Tangu, I could just go ahead full annex these guys. We can be done with it. That's literally all of our expansion at this point, and pretty much for the rest of the game. This is what our empire's final borders are going to look like. I'm feeling like real life China. If we look over to the right over here, I'm just building so many things all the time. I mean, heck, we're building more things than we normally do in Victoria 3. I just realized that Japan went Mahayana, so we don't have any Shinto. Anywhere else in the world, Japan's just straight up Mahayana. I currently got my crownlands up to 100% crownlands, so this is giving me additional absolutism, max absolutism, ton of reform progress growth, monthly autonomy change. Literally, this is the best possible amount of crownlands that you could get, and it's really, really good, especially in this era and the following era in the age of revolutions. And what I have to do right now is pass another celestial reform, so this is going to put us up to 10, which will allow me to complete this mission here. And after that, I just simply have to wait till my mandate is up to 95. I can complete that mission. And then this one, I have to pass another 5 Celestial Empire reforms. We're getting there. We're almost there. So these 2 missions, we are almost there, guys. For my 6th idea group, we're going to be picking up trade ideas. This is just so that way we can pretty much complete this entire branch. I have to fill out trade ideas in order to just complete this mission down here. And then these, it's just going to make it even easier to complete these next 2. Now that I completed trade ideas, I can complete this. You just need at least 12 provinces with a marketplace, 25 ports, have the most trade power in Bohai, Hangzhou, Guangzhou, and also embrace either free trade or mercantilistic approach, which we did mercantilistic approach. So I can apparently claim economic hegemon. That's fantastic. I'm making over 1,000 ducats total income. Because I'm a hegemon, well, specifically the economic one, I get development cost modifier, merc manpower, monthly war exhaustion. Over time, when this little bar over here maxes out, I get an additional 25% goods produced, mercenary discipline, minimum autonomy in territories, and we get 20% governing capacity modifier. Now for the last of the actual Qing missions. So again, these are the Qing exclusive missions over here. We just have to have 75% or more trade power in the Bohai Sea, which is around over here in Beijing. Hangzhou, 75%. Guangzhou, 75%. And then Beijing needs to be the highest value trade node in the world, and we have to have 100% mercantilism, which we are currently at 38. This mission here, the Junji-Chu Council, we can finally complete. You know, we finished up Extinguished Ming. Of course, they've been dead for like 400 years at this point. Government reforms, all of them completed. I chose political absolutism. We have 90 mandate and 90% crownlands. I'm at 100. We can complete this. Get a new tier 7 government reform, which gives us more meritocracy, more governing capacity. All of our states are going to be even more loyal, and 100 admin. Also, what I'm going to go ahead and do, because
I don't know what just... Oh, I passed the mandate reform. So this dropped by like 40 ducats. We were almost at 300 ducats in our trade node of Beijing. Because I have 100% crown lands, all that stuff. I don't need to have 100% crown lands. And obviously we haven't been doing any expanding whatsoever for like the past like almost 100 years. So our Shangbang over here, we're going to hand out all the things that actually give us trade power. Our capital is currently at 296.9 ducats, which just barely beats the English Channel at 291.8. We get Trade Center of the World Desire until the end of the game, giving us more production efficiency, more embargo efficiency, and ship trade power plus 25%. And in every coastal European trade node where we have at least 25% trade power, every other country that is not our subject or ally will experience inflationary economic collapse. And since we're literally just waiting on me to get enough mandate to pass one more reform and go ahead and complete that, I'm going to go ahead and just do the banners cavalry, the achievement for them, which is these banners need a saga. Yeah, these banners need a saga, raise up 100 of them. I have 44 right now. So what I ended up doing in order to make that easier on me is I culture converted a lot of this stuff to Manchu. Obviously I could have culture converted more, but it's also based off of provinces of your culture along with development, all that stuff. I'm just going to spam out a bunch of these guys on like one province here. Boom, 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 boom. And we could finally pass our last celestial reform. There we go. Need to just boost up my stability one last time. We can complete Heaven's Will, Divine Favor till the end of the game, giving us dev cost, Liberty, Desire, and Subjects, max effect of Absolutism, 100 prestige. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The entire Jurchen, Manchu to Qing mission tree is complete, with the last mission being Heaven's Will that we needed to complete. But all of them are done. This is what your empire should look like. This took us until 1711, and that's, again, just because of waiting for time with the celestial reforms. Now, next time when we continue our mission tree only series, we're going to be playing what is probably one of the most popular nations in all of EU4, and as the nation of Burgundy as we go on to form Lotharingia. But in the meantime, I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.